How's it going? My name is Daniel, and today we're going to be doing lesson 14, the LCD display lesson from the ELEEGO Uno R3 starter kit, super starter kit. So let's begin with looking at our parts. I'm not going to be too concerned about explaining too many things. I just want to put it all together and show you that it works. And this is my first time going through it, so it might not actually work. We might have to solve a few problems, so hopefully that helps. But I digress. Let's continue. We have the R3. We have the LCD display module. We have the potentiometer. We have the tie points breadboard. And then 16 male-to-male jumper wires, and I went ahead and looked at the colors we're using in the diagrams, and so it's 1 yellow, 1 orange, 1 green, 5 black, 4 red, and 4 blue for a total of 16. I think I got that right. Okay, so we have our component introduction here. Okay, so let's just take a quick look at these pins. VSS, a pin that connects to ground. VDD, a pin that connects to a 5-volt power supply. VO, a pin that adjusts the contrast. RS, a register select pin that controls where the LCD's memory you are writing to. That's interesting. You can select either the data register, which holds what goes onto the screen, or an instruction register, which is where the LCD's controller looks for instructions on what to do next. Cool. A read-write pin. An enabling pin, D0 to D7 pins that read and write data, A and K pins that control the LED backlight. Wow, that's pretty cool stuff. So look at the wiring diagram and the image here, wiring diagram and the schematic. So let's just get started. We have let's look at the picture. So we've got to connect this onto the breadboard. Now if you look at where the pins are and when they connect onto the breadboard, you will see we can put it on right there. All right. Now we want to ground. Where do we get our ground from? Right there. And then we want our 5-volt. And this is where we connect to the breadboard, I believe. Yep. I wonder if I'm plugged into the breadboard correctly. Yep. So I'm not looking too much at how the wiring works for now. I'm still kind of learning how the breadboard works, but putting together a few examples definitely helps you understand a lot better. So there goes the potentiometer. I don't want to push it too hard and damage the legs, but I hope that's gone in far enough. And then we connect our wires. Oops. There we go. And then from the potentiometer, I think I might be in the wrong pins. No. Now, if you look on the screen in the diagram, it wants me to go right into that pin. So, I don't know if I can do that without bending the pins. And I wonder if that matters. I think it'll still work. If I understand how this breadboard works, and I'm not sure I do, I think we'll be fine. And this looks like it's going right up to the third pin. Right there. Okay, and a black and a red wire here. Oops. Where am I connecting? So if you really want to know how these things work, it's not enough just to build it. You have to look into what all the pins do and try to understand. So D7. All right. the orange connects to D8. Alright, so if you look at how these are connected, you can kind of already start to see where your digitals are going. They connect to this pin, and then you have this ground wire in between them. Nine. D4. And there's my last black wire, the ground wire. There you go. Now I'm not sure if that's going to work because it looks like I may have plugged into the wrong spot on the breadboard, but that's because the potentiometer is a little bit too big, but I think it'll be alright. So let's plug it in and give it a shot. Oh, turns on already. Lots of power. I don't know which way is up or down, but I suppose we'll just leave it that way for now. And I already tried compiling this sketch and it worked because I installed the library. Don't forget to install the library from the zip file. It worked, so let's upload it. And it should say hello world when I upload it, because that's what it says right here in the program. Should be good to go. And it uploaded, but it's not displaying anything. So let's troubleshoot this. I do believe it's because of what I mentioned about the potentiometer. So let's take that up. And I don't want to bend this, so I wonder if I can use one of these wires, like an extension. Let's take a look at the diagram. And if this doesn't work, then we can do some further troubleshooting. kind of ridiculous. How's that possibly gonna fit? Unless I put an extender onto each one. Well, this may seem like a ridiculous attempt, but I really don't want to bend that potentiometer pin. What happened to all my cables? Okay, so I paused it, I found some cables, and this is a bit of an experiment on my part. I wonder if this potentiometer will work if I put it into the board like this. Oops. But it may not be the potentiometer at all. I may have wired it wrong. There may be something else going on. Oh, these wires don't like to stay in here. And then right here. And then right there. I wonder if moving the LCD back would have helped, but I don't know. This may not work. And I don't think it's working. Okay, so looks like we have to troubleshoot this a little bit. Okay, so I found a few problems with my wiring. So I had these black and red cables plugged into the wrong spot, but what I didn't do was adjust the potentiometer. Oopsie, that wire came out. So it does work when it's connected by these wires, these extenders. And I don't know if you can see that. Let me prop this up. Okay, so I propped that up a little bit, so you should be able to see. I'm going to upload the code again, and there you go. I will show you the potentiometer, and I put a screwdriver in there, and as you can see, it turns the contrast. So I was just not able to see, and that's just a counter, that number going there. So our program prints hello world, and then it runs a counter. So in the diagram there is some sort of a knob that goes into the potentiometer. I don't know if I have that somewhere in my box of parts, but I'm sure it's in there somewhere. I just used a hex screwdriver, or whatever you call that, the star-shaped ones. Now let's see if there's anything I missed. No. Well, there you have it, the Hello World LCD project. if you have problems connecting the potentiometer on the board because of its size, you can also just use the male to female extender cables and plug it on the board exactly where you want it. It's a little bit weird, but it also gives you the ability to adjust it. I don't know if you look at the picture, I don't know, it looks kind of hard to reach in there and twist that thing without moving the wires. They don't really stick in too well. They're very easy to pull out. Alright, I hope your project works and have a great day.